And Christy,
Kimo, you're on fire, mate.
no more jokes. My mum's cut me off, eh?
You're on fire. Ray, just let him loose, mate. Let him loose. Just one joke to him.
I'll kick it off here. I don't know how we're going to follow that. Thanks, Kai. We'll try to keep it to our 5 minutes each, so we'll probably be about 10 minutes. So short, sharp, direct to the point. Just in case you don't know me, my name's Rob. Rowan.
Ronan and Keating.
Yep.
That's what I was calling you last week.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. I've known Ryan since high school, as Russell said. Just going back to that fight, I remember that very, very well. Actually, I was there, and actually I was going for the other guy. I thought, who's this skinny little pale guy? He was little back then.
Pale?
Yeah, pale. So he's filled out a little bit, but full of love. So I've known Ryan for about, 20 plus years. I knew Ryan a little bit more closely, obviously, within probably the first couple of years of high school. And then obviously from then on, we've become really, really good friends. And someone said to me the other day, have you ever had an argument? It might have been Tony. Have you ever had an argument with Ryan? No. He's such an easy guy to know and to like. I couldn't think of a time that I've actually had an argument with him. So yeah, he's been a great mate. So you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name's Christy and I'm Carly's best friend. I have known Carly for 32 years. Yeah. Oh, thanks Ray, I'll pay you later. So we met when we were in kindergarten, and a friend said to me the other day, you are really lucky because you have got to choose your sister. And I really, really feel that way about Carly. And I think that's why we are so good together, because we're not like sisters. But, yeah, like you said about Ryan, you've never had an argument. Carly and I have had loads. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a big believer in wedding speeches not being too much like 21st speeches. It does get a bit challenging when, I know Ryan quite well. It's fair to say that, like some of you here, we know Ryan a little bit more than the Turnbull family, and vice versa for Critty here. She would know a lot more, obviously, about Carly and Carly's side than Ryan's side. So that's why we're here together, doing it together. We're just going to go through a couple of short stories that we've chosen, I suppose, just to give you an understanding of how these two personalities have come together and so on. So I'll kick it off. So first thing I want to do, I just wanted to see if I can, how do I explain Ryan? So infectious personality, generous, carefree attitude, someone who is always looking at the positives in life, and probably his biggest trait is his want to always please his family and friends. He always seems to go the extra mile. This trait extends to everything he does. He goes the extra mile when telling a story. Some would say that sometimes he crosses the line, or a lot of times he crosses that line. He goes the extra mile when entertaining a crowd. He's obviously not shy in getting up there and entertaining his friends and family. He also goes the extra mile when it comes to friends, and I'm sure Carly would agree that he goes the extra mile in his relationship as well. And in this particular case, he's gone, and I calculated he's gone the extra 2,124 miles from Melbourne to be here. Oh. So.
Okay, so how do I describe Carly? Loyal, passionate and kind. Once Carly takes you under her wing, you never want for a single thing. Friends and family are her world, and she ensures those within that circle are cared for. Her sense of adventure has seen her travel the world, a large part of it solo. Such an independent and self-motivated woman. When she puts her mind to something, there's just no stopping her. Such a big heart, warm, funny, bold and brave. Just a handful of qualities that make my best friend so very special.
Okay, so like I said, I've known Ryan since high school, and we met a few years in. I was trying to pinpoint that the first time I met Ryan, and from memory, the first interaction I had with Ryan was I was sitting next to him in class one day, and we or he started talking about computer programming. For some reason, God knows why, I was so enthralled with what he was saying. I actually went home and I started, testing out for the few of the programs he actually told me how to do. I don't know, can't remember, QBasic or something along those lines. The weird thing is I was never interested in computer programming whatsoever, but somehow Ryan made it sound so interesting, which is if you know Ryan, it's a typical trait. He can really sell what he's trying to say.
As I mentioned, I met Carly at Langford Kindy. Yes, Langford Kindy, for those that know Langford. We would have been probably around 3 years old, and although I don't remember everything, I remembered I hated it. I despised it. It was horrible. I do remember one thing, a beautiful little red-headed girl who would take care of me, tucking me into the home corner bed, telling me everything was going to be okay, and that she would look after me. This was only the beginning of Carly looking after me. Needless to say, she tucked me into bed on a number of different occasions over the course of our friendship. It was often accompanied with a bucket.
You have to bear with me, I don't have any exciting stories like that with Ryan.
I make me sound like an alcoholic.
I've noticed there's a lot of alcohol involved with that sort of thing. And so I've experienced. I've been here for the last week, and I've mentioned to these guys, I think I've drunk more in the last week than I have in the last 2 years. Ryan and I have always shared similar interests, but I must admit, Ryan put me onto a few of them. Obviously, with his addictive nature, again, he just had the ability to sell what he was talking about. I always had interest in local touring car series, but Ryan, in true Ryan form, he opened my eyes up to Formula One, Indy cars, sprint cars, just to name a few. Indy cars, champ cars, what are they called these days? In fact, at one point, Ryan tried to involve our whole class in school in his own IndyCar series that he was racing on his computer at home. Basically, what he would do, he would race, a race, and got everyone to choose a car they wanted. He'd race at home, and he would come back the next week or the next Monday or whatever it was, and gave everyone the results. He had his own little table, his own little points table. That's just what he did. This is just a great example of how Ryan embraces his passions, and he loves to involve people and, like I said, sell his passions to people as well. So.
Our friendship has spanned many different countries, and I cannot share with you any of those stories. I will take them to my grave. But let's just say, with Carly, it's easy to travel. She plans everything, decides where to go for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's like having your own personal tour guide. Carly must own at least 30 Lonely Planet guides, and all are very well read. She is so cultured and travel smart. She truly is the best travel companion ever. And Ryan, she was stressing out because she did not have her Lonely Planet for New Zealand. So we need to make sure that she's got that, yeah?
As well as motorsport, Ryan's also been into his cycling. And yes, he got me into cycling as well. we lived about 20 minutes apart, a 20-minute car ride from each other in high school, and when an afternoon phone call didn't suffice anymore, he'd actually ride his bike to my house, which is about a 50-minute ride, which is fine, but again, to true Ryan form, the problem was he never told anyone that that's what he was doing, so particularly me. So one day he actually rocked up to my house, all his bike gear, hot, sweaty, red. So, oh, there's Rob there, and obviously Mum and Dad said no, he's not there. So he's like, oh, okay, no worries. Turned around, walked back to his bike, rode home. Just a stupid, carefree attitude that he has sometimes. He just does not care. It's just the nature of Ryan, and that's what one of the great traits I love about him.
As independent and strong as Carly can be, she can sometimes be a people pleaser, particularly when intoxicated. The girls and I would work this to our advantage on nights out in Freo. One particular night, Carly found herself wearing someone else's shoes that were 2 sizes too small. Convinced a group of men she was a Scottish exchange student. Excuse me, but she farted at the bar, which was smelt by the guy standing next to her. Didn't time a sprinkler run through the park correctly and ended up soaked. Had approximately 4 or 5 falls and was pushed home in a trolley. To this day, we still refer to this as best night ever. And had 7 rolls of film from the night. Thank God social media did not exist when we were 21. I set everyone the task this evening to allocate Carly with a dare. You will not regret it. And by the way, this is the PG-rated series of events from the best night ever.
When Ryan told me he was moving away from Melbourne, I must admit I was shocked. I was thinking, how could he move there? That place is a dump. Hang on. I'm talking about Ballarat.
You nearly had it.
I knew someone would go past me. Yeah, Ballarat. So I do like Perth. It's a better choice for him. So Ballarat was his first attempt to move away from Melbourne. At the time, it felt like he was moving to another country because Ballarat's about 2 hours away from Melbourne. So fresh out of school, we hadn't really travelled that far. So, but do you think that stopped Ryan from seeing us? I mean, obviously we made the effort to go and visit him at his campus during O Week or whatever it was. I think there was about 3 years of O Week. Obviously we would visit him and constantly, but it was very hard to get everyone together and at the one time. So again, Ryan didn't care about that. He would constantly drive back from Ballarat, the 2-hour drive to Melbourne to see us all, and a lot of the times at the last minute as well. A true indication that his friends mean everything to him and how he wouldn't let a change in lifestyle affect that. Fast forward to today. We've seen that Ryan has never shied away from opportunities to enhance his career. He travelled to India to help out with a help desk, setting up a help desk, and obviously more recently he's travelled here to Perth. Now, although the employment side of things hasn't quite gone to plan, there is one thing that has clearly made this current move worthwhile. Ryan, do you know what that is?
Kwinana Speedway.
Yes. Kwinana Speedway. No, of course not. Carly, of course. I've had a great, I've been able to stay at Ryan and Carly's house for last week, and I've been welcomed into their home, and there's been a lot going on obviously this week, but I've felt a part of the family, and I just can't thank them enough for having me.
Graham, you stole my thunder on this one, but that's okay, I'll read it anyway. As soon as Carly was old enough, I remember her having a really strong work ethic. She made delivering junk mail sound like an amazing career path. It's hard to believe that at 15 the coolest place to work was Hungry Jack's. 90% of our friend group was working there. I was the only one who did not. I don't like grease. Carly had to be a part of it. She set her sights on getting that job and, of course, secured employment. Carly thrived on working within a team environment. She became confident and strong and rich. She worked some long and exhausting hours, working out very quickly that school was getting in the way of her career. She was 17 at the time. She fought hard and jumped over a number of hurdles during our last year of high school, making a pact with her mum and dad that she would work full-time at HJ's and complete her TE. Such a determined individual, she not only completed her TE with university acceptance, she was also promoted to manager. It was a no-brainer. HJ's was where she wanted to be. And when you look at how successful she is today, I'd say she was on the money with her decision.
All right, so we'd like to just finish. We had a bit of a chat earlier in the week. We just wanted to finish with our thoughts on both Ryan and Carly bring to this marriage. Carly, she brings the structure, organisation, responsibility, and support. She's a great supporter. She lives life always with one eye on the future. And with these qualities, I'm sure Ryan knows just how lucky he is.
Ryan, you bring randomness, are willing to take bold risks, a daring attitude to life, and always ensures Carly wants for nothing. He lives life in the moment and is full of adventure. Now you have a beautiful wife to share these adventures with. We can now reflect on what they both bring to the marriage. Both bring extraordinary generosity and love of life and their never-ending loyalty to family and friends. What a wonderful married life you have ahead of you, and how blessed are we all to be of a part of it.
Gee, I'm just as organised as Ryan. So if I can just charge your glasses, raise your glasses. Just want a toast to Ryan and Carly.
Ryan and Carly.
Mr. and Mrs. Barth. I won't drink it because this is Nathan's.
I'll drink it because it's Emma's. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, what a great group of friends and everything that Ryan and Carly have got. So for the right of reply now, and I hope you've got some comebacks here, Ryan, but on behalf of the bride and groom, we'll please welcome to the stage Ryan Barth.
First of all, I've just got to say, how pretty are our bridesmaids tonight?
Go Kaiser! Go Kaiser! Go Kaiser!
I also want to say that tonight, the night ends at midnight. We'll be partying until midnight. We're not having a going away ceremony or anything. We are just going to party the night through. So feel free to say goodbye to us at any point if you wish to go. We'll be here till midnight. 1 in 3 marriages end in divorce. Is that a joke? Because that's Australian Bureau of Statistics. 1 in 3 marriages end in divorce. What hope do you have as a couple to dream of keeping your marriage together? I mean, I met Carly, and the first time I met Carly, I cancelled my eHarmony account. I got to ask for a refund. Why? Because I knew I'd met the one. How could I possibly go in with confidence that I'd met a girl that's going to live by my side for the rest of my life when 1 in 3 marriages end in divorce? It makes you question, what is a wedding? So I looked it up. The definition of a wedding, Oxford Dictionary. The process. A wedding is a process. The process of removing weeds from a garden. Come on. I expected better from you for that. I'm the groom, people, and you will laugh at my jokes whether they are funny or not. Even if only 1 in 20 is funny. Otherwise, this is really going to be a long 45 minutes.
You don't only got 5 minutes.
In Melbourne, I've got a fantastic group of friends that have supported me or even raised me for the last 20 years. It was a gut-wrenching decision for me to move to Perth. It would not have been possible, and it was only intended to be to 1 or 2 years, then I was going to move back. I could never have done it without Carly's friends and family. They've supported me and taken me on from day one. The look in their eyes when they tell me how proud Carly is to have me, then how proud they are for the relationship that we've built, and it just gives me reinforcement that I'm the right guy for her. I'll never forget the note that Ray and Mick left on our car one night. All it said was, "Love you guys." Just a simple note left on our windscreen after a good night out that just said, "Love you guys." Thanks, guys. Critty, you are Carly's rock. The friendship you have is absolutely amazing. The support you've given us is phenomenal. The support and the build up to this wedding and what you've done for us, there's nothing I can say. It's just been amazing. I remember the first day we met, and it took a little while to meet you. The first day we met, and the first moment Critty got when Carly walked out of the room and Critty said, "Ryan, she's a tough nut to crack." Still working on it. Kai, the effort you go to for us blows me away. This guy, we go away on a holiday to Melbourne. This guy comes to our house, spends 8 hours, while we're away, 8 hours cleaning, vacuuming, dusting, arranging the dishcloth in a perfectly square manner. We had no idea where we were going to start in terms of decorating and building up the vision for this wedding. And Kai, you brought that to life, just like you did when we were renovating our house. Kai, thank you. Tony, I guess you're a nice guy.
He's alright. Hey, Tony.
So Tony is a superhero.
Yes.
Tony is a superhero bridezilla slayer. His weapon of choice is red wine and a jar of passata to make Carly's favourite meal. It doesn't matter what mood it's in, and often Tony's at the front door before she's even in mood. But getting her down on the couch with Tony and a bottle of red, and Carly switches from bridezilla mode to friend. Gets her laughing and brings her back to ground. So, I've been married now 5 hours. My brother, Michael, has been married 18 months. That's 547 days. My brother Stephen and my sister Melanie, they've been married 5 years this year. My best mate Robin, in a couple of weeks, celebrates his 10-year wedding anniversary. I think I've got some people around me that can give me relationship advice. In the next couple of weeks, Carly's parents, Ray and Graham, celebrate their 40th wedding anniversary. "40 years ago, they got married in Tarrawurry Lodge here in Perth. That was 14,600 days ago. "50 years ago, on October 9 this year, my parents, Russell and Diane Bath, got married. Where do they get married? Tarrawurry Lodge. Absolute coincidence. And they're not the only ones here celebrating major milestones. My aunt and uncle, Ray and Greta, also this year, the year that Carly and I got married, celebrated their 50-year wedding anniversary. My mum and dad's best mate, Mel and Beth Hull, also said this year celebrate their 50-year wedding anniversary. And my best mate Robin's parents, Brian and Carol Jones, who have made the trip over here to see us tonight, also 50 years of marriage. 18,250 days of marriage. I've been married 4 or 5 hours. They've all been married 438,000 hours. Carly, with all the people we have in this room that we can go to for advice, for all the support this whole room give us, the partnership that we have no excuses. Yes, I am absolutely confident that I can promise to be by your side for a lifetime. Happily building our ever after together. And I just want to share with you one final piece of advice, and it's financial advice, because Carly... Shani's one of my best friends in Melbourne. Carly has given me a lot of financial advice, but the one thing that I've learnt from her is to never, ever waste money on a Balinese clairvoyant. Because they don't know. A proposal is imminent, but he'll not be the man you marry. And here we are.
Another round of applause for the bride and groom and everyone who made a speech today.